Okay, well, that was something I just discovered. And now I know I'm not the first one to discover it because, like, 3C Films, or is it C3 Films? However that channel is pronounced, like, you know. Oh, by the way, I do recommend him. Actually, check him out. He's really good. Yeah, he just did a video on this, like, 33 minutes ago at the time of this recording. But yes, you did read the title right. For those of you who don't know, there's going to be a live-action Winnie the Pooh horror movie. And yeah, now, I will be real with you guys, Winnie the Pooh was a big part of my childhood. Like, you know, along with characters like Sonic the Hedgehog, Ratchet, you know, like, along with a lot of other characters. Sorry, it's just I watched a lot of things when I was a kid, you know, like, I can't remember them all. But, like, the thing is, like, so, yeah, obviously, I do consider myself, like, nostalgic to Winnie the Pooh. So, you are probably thinking, what do I think about this, judging by my childhood connections with the character? Now, at first, I was a bit like, what the fuck? But, like, the thing is, I don't care. Like, I care enough. Like, what I mean, like, okay, when I say I don't care, what I mean is, like, you know, I don't care if, like, you know, I'm not saying I'm not interested, I am, but I'm just saying I don't give that much of a shit to get really pissed off at this, because, yes, it is a part of my, yes, Winnie the Pooh is a part of my childhood, and I do rewatch some Winnie the Pooh sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, you know, just, like, you know, like, maybe, like, you know, just to, like, calm down and just to relax, you know. I usually just use Winnie the Pooh as, like, a relaxing tool, you know, just a little something nice to put on, like, you know, something like that. So, yeah, and also, here's the thing, if I hate this movie, I'm not going to watch it, to be honest, because I don't watch horror movies, but that's besides the point. Like, you know, it doesn't really matter if I hate this movie or not. I still got the original Winnie the Pooh back. I still got the original Winnie the Pooh I grew up with. It doesn't really matter to me at the end of the day. And also, I don't, even though I said I do watch Winnie the Pooh from time to time, I don't watch it that much. Like, you know, and, like, the reason why is because Winnie the Pooh, even though it was a big part of my childhood, it wasn't the biggest thing. Like, when it came to cartoons, I was more of a SpongeBob guy, really. I was more into SpongeBob than Winnie the Pooh. So, you know, yeah, so, like, maybe if there was, like, a SpongeBob horror movie, yeah, I would kind of get a bit pissed off about that. But at the same time, though, I'm not one of those idiots that'll go, oh, you're ruining my childhood, why? Because, like, those of you who are watching this, thinking that this movie is going to ruin your childhood, calm down, it ain't. Like, you know, it's not going to ruin your childhood. If you still love the originals, you can go and watch those instead. You don't have to watch this movie if you don't want to. I mean, like, you know, like, yeah, sometimes I go and watch movies that I don't want to watch, but that's because of two reasons. A, I just love going to the cinema. That's what I do. I just love going to the cinema. I love to watch movies. It's what I do, pretty much. And, B, maybe the movie might be good. You know, maybe it might be a genuine surprise. But, yeah. And I'm not saying you can't be against this movie. You can. If you hate the idea of this movie, more power to you. Like, you know, like, hate it all you want. But don't go and say stupid shit like it's ruining your childhood, and don't harass the people that are excited for it. Because there are some people that might get a kick out of this. And, to be honest, I can see why. Because, if I can just, give me a sec, I'll just do a bit of an edit. Okay, now that we're back, like, the reason why I say this is not a left out of field and why people might get a kick out of it, because this is not the first time this has happened with a children's property, turning it into a horror movie for adults. Because, now, this one is not as well known as Winnie the Pooh, but This is the Banana Splits movie, and as you can see, it's got the age rating of 18, in pretty much implying that this is not for kids, obviously, and this is a horror film. Kind of like a Five Nights at Freddy's type of movie. If you like a good, dumb, fun horror movie, actually check this out. It's actually quite fun to watch. Just don't show it to your kids. But this movie right here, was actually based on a children's live-action series from the 60s and 70s by Hanna-Barbera. So, yeah, this is not the first time that a beloved children's franchise is doing this. And if you're wondering if Disney is making these movies, they're actually not. Disney is not behind these movies. Disney is not behind this Winnie the Pooh movie at all. I don't know who is making this movie, to be honest. I really don't know who is working on this movie. But, you know, but Disney is not behind this. And I know what you're thinking. Why isn't Disney behind this? Don't they own the rights to Winnie the Pooh? They are still allowed to use the Winnie the Pooh character, but Winnie the Pooh is something they technically don't own because Winnie the Pooh is public domain. Now, I don't know if it's become public domain recently or like if it was public domain the whole time. I'm like, you know, there's probably someone that knows out there, you know. I'll look that up later, but yeah, Winnie the Pooh is public domain, so they are allowed to do this. But obviously with a few things. Now, obviously, since Winnie the Pooh is public domain, they are allowed to do this, yeah. But they're not allowed to use the Disney design. They actually do have a few picture. They actually do have a picture of how he looks. And warning if you don't like, you know, seeing like if you are like scared of like, you know, anthropomorphic horror movie animals, I would recommend skipping to this time here if you don't want to see it. But yeah, here's a picture of Winnie the Pooh, and they've also got a picture of Piglet. Now, yes, Winnie the Pooh, he actually looks a lot like Winnie the Pooh, but there are a few differences. He doesn't have the red shirt. Yeah, he's got like this red like farmer shirt on, but he doesn't have the red shirt from the Disney cartoons because Disney still owns that design of Winnie the Pooh, so they're not allowed to use that design. But you can see though, he still looks like Winnie the Pooh though. You can still see he kind of looks like Winnie the Pooh if he crossed over with Five Nights at Freddy's. But you got Piglet, and Piglet looks nothing like Piglet. And how do I know it's Piglet? Because it was confirmed on the IMDb page that Piglet and Winnie are the main villains. So yeah, just to make it more traumatizing for you, not only is this a real thing, but Winnie and Piglet are the killers. Now, like, Pooh and Piglet are the killers. Now, when I first heard of this film, I thought it was something like, you know, maybe like, oh, it's just a bunch of people dressed up as Winnie the Pooh and his friends. No, it's not. It is actually Winnie the Pooh and Piglet going on a killing spree. Now, from what I have heard, Pooh and Piglet are the only Winnie the Pooh characters in the movie. They can't use Tigger because despite Winnie and Piglet being public domain, Tigger is not public domain. He's still owned by Disney. Now, I know, that's going to be confusing, but here's the thing. When something becomes public domain, does not mean everything is that does not mean everything about is public domain. Here would be a good example. So let's say if in, I doubt this would happen, but let's say maybe in, 10 years, Mario became public domain. Bowser Jr. could still be copyrighted. Bowser Jr. Could still not be public domain. And why am I saying Bowser Jr.? I just needed a character. So, yeah. Apparently, Eeyore might make a cameo or Eeyore is referenced, but apparently, in this version, Pooh and Piglet ate Eeyore. like, yeah, like, I really don't know how to feel about this, to be honest. I'm probably not gonna watch it because, like, at the end of the day, it's just a horror. At the end of the day, it's just another movie. It it doesn't ruin my childhood. It doesn't ruin your childhood. Um, it's a thing. I can't say it's a boring idea. I can at least say it's an interesting idea. But the thing is, though, the execution could be bad. And, I don't know. I'll tell you the plot. Before we leave, I'll tell you the plot. So the plot is, it takes place whenever the hell, where Winnie the Pooh and Piglet have become, so hungry, and, Christopher Robin has abandoned them, and they've gotten so pissed off and so hungry, they have gone on a killing spree. They have eaten Eeyore, gone on a killing spree, and gone on a rampage. So, yeah. And the title for this movie is Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, which, okay, I'm not gonna lie, for a horror movie about Winnie the Pooh, that title's kind of badass. I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of cool. That is the coolest title you could ever give to a Winnie the Pooh horror movie. I won't deny that. So yeah, I don't know whether this movie will be good or not, and I might not watch it. And to be fair, I don't think this is one of those movies that's going to be released in theaters. I think it's one of those horror movies that's probably going to be released straight to streaming. It definitely seems like that. So yeah. It might be good, but at the end of the day, I don't care. It's a thing. It exists. Why don't we all move on? And if you don't like this and you would rather pretend it does not exist, then just ignore it. It's just a movie. It's not like this movie is not like a bully that would constantly that would constantly bully you for kicks. This is just a movie. It may not be a movie you like, but it's just a movie. And that's that. Alright? So yeah. I hope, and also, parents, if you're watching this, before I go, I just got one thing to say. Parents, if you're watching this, just because this is Winnie the Pooh, does not mean it will be a PG horror movie. This would probably be rated R, okay? This would probably get, a 15 rating or an 18 rating. So, if your kids are huge Winnie the Pooh fans, either A, don't tell them about this movie at all, or B, maybe explain them how copyright and movies work. Because then I think they would not want to watch it. And also, not to mention, don't let this ruin your impact on Winnie the Pooh. Just don't. Alright, I've been talking for 14 minutes now. I think you're all sick and tired of me. Bye!